Here's your wrestling news for January 10th, 2026. Your headlines for today include Drew McIntyre's title win was a last-minute decision, 2 surprising names made the call, not Triple H or WWE Creative. Trick Williams caught saying "oh shit" after botching a spot with Randy Orton, full breakdown revealed. AJ Styles officially returning to TNA for AMC premiere. Real reason behind Tiffany Stratton's WWE absence finally revealed. Fan attacks Giulia on SmackDown, unseen footage and backstage chaos. Nick Aldis announces tournament for Royal Rumble WWE title challenger. Wyatt 6 lantern stolen at SmackDown, and more. WWE spent the entire night building anticipation for the 3 Stages of Hell match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre, and by the time it finally aired, with 0 commercial breaks in the final hour, it felt far closer to a premium live event main event than anything you'd normally see on TV. The first fall, a traditional wrestling contest, began with exactly 30 minutes left in the broadcast. Rhodes came out fast, sending McIntyre to the floor with a suicide dive, but momentum shifted quickly. With the referee distracted by a loose turnbuckle, McIntyre hit a low blow followed by a claymore to score the first fall. The second fall, a Falls Count Anywhere match, opened the door for chaos. McIntyre immediately pulled a table from under the ring and powerbombed Rhodes through it for a near fall. They battled through the crowd, trading heavy shots and using their surroundings to wear each other down. Rhodes eventually put McIntyre through the announce table, evening the score and forcing the final fall inside a steel cage. As the structure lowered, both men looked drained, but Rhodes had just a bit more left in the tank. He sent McIntyre into the cage walls repeatedly, slowing him down and cutting off an attempted escape. They exchanged finishers, each surviving the other's best shot as the final minutes stretched into another brutal 15-minute war. Just when it seemed McIntyre was seconds away from victory, Jacob Fatu stormed into the cage and attacked him. Moments later, he turned his attention to Rhodes as well, leaving both men battered. The interference gave McIntyre the opening he needed to crawl through the cage door and capture the WWE Championship. As a match, it delivered exactly what it needed to do. Cody looked every bit the fighting champion, surviving 2 falls, battling through weapon shots, and even enduring outside interference, while McIntyre's win set him up for a fresh, much-needed main event run. However, the dramatic ending wasn't just a creative decision handed down by the writing team, it was a move driven directly by Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre behind the scenes. According to Bodyslam.net, both men approached WWE officials before the show and personally pitched the idea of a WWE title change, feeling the moment called for something big. The report added that the company went back and forth before finally giving the green light. With multiple outlets now reporting the same thing, it's hard to ignore a creative shift like this came together just hours before showtime. This isn't the first time Rhodes and McIntyre have synced creatively. The duo previously pushed for a similar shift ahead of WrestlePalooza, showing how invested they are in steering long-term storytelling. While fans were stunned by the result, the title change opens up several possibilities. With WrestleMania season heating up, Drew McIntyre is back at the top of the mountain, and Cody Rhodes finds himself knocked down at the very moment he believed his legacy was secured. Now with Jacob Fatu back in the picture, clearly as a heel, and WWE already preparing to crown a new #1 contender, SmackDown's main event landscape feels more unpredictable than ever. How did you feel about this 3 Stages of Hell match? And do you think crowning Drew McIntyre was the right call? Sound off in the comments below. SmackDown opened with Randy Orton stepping into the ring for his first full promo since returning last week and dropping The Miz with an RKO. But before Orton could get beyond a couple of sentences, Trick Williams cut him off. Dressed for his upcoming match with Fenix, Trick made it clear he wanted a moment with the Viper first. The crowd was loud and reactive, and Williams leaned into it. He fired the first real shot by telling Orton it was 2026, not 2006, signaling that he believed the new generation should be taking the spotlight. Orton, staying calm, acknowledged Williams as a future star, but reminded him that interrupting the legend killer usually ends badly. Things escalated quickly. A brief exchange turned into fists, and Orton planted Williams with a draping DDT. The Miz tried to jump Orton from behind, but it backfired instantly as Orton reversed the attack into another RKO. The whole segment was straightforward, but effectively laid the groundwork for a brewing 3-way conflict between Orton, Miz, and Williams. As Orton exited, he crossed paths with Fenix, who bumped fists before heading to the ring for Williams' first official match as a member of the SmackDown roster. With extra eyes on him, Trick opened strong by overpowering Fenix and controlling most of the match. Fenix fired back with a few flashy counters, but Williams slowed the pace and kept things in his comfort zone. In the closing moments, Williams stole the win by countering a roll-up with a handful of tights, a cheap finish that suggests this rivalry isn't over yet. How do you see this three-way feud between Orton, Miz, and Trick Williams unfolding? Who benefits the most from this storyline? The veteran, the opportunist, or the rising star? Let us know in the comments below. There was a small but notable moment on SmackDown that many fans may have overlooked. During the heated exchange between Randy Orton and Trick Williams, Williams slapped the microphone out of Orton's hand, sending it flying out of the ring. WWE cameras didn't cut away, but based on the reactions inside the arena, the mic appeared to hit someone or something it wasn't supposed to. Williams was caught on camera mouthing "oh shit" before giving a quick, embarrassed shrug. Orton seemed to play along, shielding his eyes and glancing out toward the crowd as if checking where the mic landed. A handful of fans in attendance speculated online that the microphone may have struck someone in the audience. However, no official details or confirmations have surfaced, and the situation remains unclear for now. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. The Phenomenal One is coming home, and he's doing it on one of the biggest stages TNA has had in years. AJ Styles will officially return to TNA Wrestling during the premiere of TNA Impact on AMC on Thursday, January 15th. While his exact role hasn't been disclosed, TNA's official announcement has already sparked major excitement among fans. This appearance marks Styles' second return to the TNA brand following his surprise endorsement of Leon Slater at Slammiversary. Now he's stepping into an even brighter spotlight as TNA launches its national TV era on AMC. The premiere card is already stacked with title matches and marquee segments, but Styles' involvement elevates the show into must-see territory. Whether he's there to wrestle, speak, confront someone, or scout talent, AJ returning to the company that helped shape his legacy is a major statement, both for him and for TNA. It also opens up a massive question: is this a one-night special or the start of something much bigger? With TNA putting everything behind its AMC debut, bringing back AJ Styles could be the strategic move that sets the tone for the new era. Are you hoping to see AJ Styles wrestle again in TNA, or should he keep it to special appearances? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The mystery surrounding Tiffany Stratton's sudden disappearance from WWE programming has finally been clarified. After weeks of silence following her championship loss at Saturday night's main event, a new update has confirmed that the former title holder is dealing with a legitimate physical setback. According to F4W Online, Stratton's absence is medically related, with the outlet reporting that she's been out of action due to an injury. While no additional details regarding the nature or severity of the issue were provided, the confirmation lines up with what viewers witnessed during her last appearance. In the lead-up to the match, Stratton appeared to be limping during her entrance and pre-match movements. WWE even acknowledged the concern on air, with SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis offering her a chance to withdraw from the title defense for her own protection. Stratton declined, choosing to go through with the match despite visible discomfort. At the time, several reports suggested WWE was incorporating her real-life injury into the storyline, setting the stage for a planned title change to Jade Cargill and allowing Stratton to take some time away. That scenario ultimately played out as expected. Once the bell rang, Cargill immediately zeroed in on Stratton's injured leg, applying consistent pressure throughout the match. Stratton showed flashes of resilience, kicking out of multiple powerbombs, but the damage eventually caught up. The match came to an end when she fell to the Jaded, ending her championship reign. How do you think WWE should handle Stratton's return once she's cleared, and does this injury setback change her long-term trajectory on SmackDown? During a backstage segment, Alexa Bliss was shown on a call with Charlotte Flair, who revealed she was ill and wouldn't be making it to the show, leaving Bliss without any backup for what was coming next. The United States Championship was up for grabs as Alexa Bliss challenged Giulia, who had only just regained the title from Chelsea Green last week. Kiana James accompanied Giulia as usual, and the match quickly turned chaotic due to outside involvement. Bliss came incredibly close to capturing the championship, but interference proved costly. James distracted the referee, and Lash Legend shoved Bliss off the top rope moments later. Giulia capitalized and retained the title, which felt like the right call given her recent title win and the momentum she's building. This match ultimately served as a strong showcase for Giulia, especially working against a popular star like Bliss. After the bout, Nia Jax and Lash Legend launched a 2-on-1 assault on Bliss, taking full advantage of Flair's absence. Another unexpected moment unfolded on SmackDown when a fan shoved a Lily doll directly into Giulia's face during her entrance. The interaction caught security personnel off guard as it happened quickly. Backstage in the gorilla position, WWE officials were reportedly unhappy with how the situation was handled, particularly the lack of immediate security response. Fortunately, Giulia was not harmed and continued her segment without further incident. The commentary team for SmackDown has officially shifted back to Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. With that adjustment in place, it appears Michael Cole and Corey Graves will now handle commentary duties exclusively on Monday Night Raw. Matt Cardona appeared backstage long before the main event, delivering one of the night's standout interview segments. He spoke about his journey, emphasizing that he could have coasted on the Zack Ryder legacy, but chose instead to rebuild himself as Matt Cardona. But the moment that grabbed everyone's attention came when Cardona issued a direct warning to Cody Rhodes. Cardona made it clear he isn't returning just to fill a spot on the roster, he was returning with championship ambitions. More on that a little later. It was pure chaos tonight as an all-out war broke out in an 8-man tag team match, with the Wyatt 6 colliding with the MFTs in a heated 4-on-4 showdown. The match delivered the intensity fans expected, but the ending is what truly stood out. After weeks of escalating tension, Solo Sikoa took things to an entirely different level. Even though the MFTs scored the pinfall and walked out with the win, Solo walked out with something far more symbolic: Bray Wyatt's lantern. The same lantern the Wyatt 6 have carried as their guiding light. We've heard Solo say for weeks that he was going to strip everything Wyatt away from the Wyatt 6. Tonight he followed through. He held up the lantern and walked off with it, once again declaring that he has the whole world in his hands now. This is exactly the kind of escalation the Wyatt 6 storyline needed. Someone finally pushed the faction to a place where they must respond. How will Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt 6 react? Sound off in the comments below. Nick Aldis made it official on Friday night. Jordynne Grace is now a full-time member of SmackDown. Grace didn't waste any time either, making her in-ring Blue Brand debut against Alba Fire in a short but solid showcase. As expected, Grace picked up the win. The match wasn't long, but the little we saw looked crisp. Fire is always dependable, and Grace's power offense translated perfectly on her first SmackDown outing, giving them a few strong exchanges before the finish. As Grace headed up the ramp after her win, Jade Cargill's music hit. The WWE Women's Champion came out, sized her up, and made it clear that she didn't think Grace was anything special. The tension was immediate, and it looks like WWE is wasting no time positioning Grace directly into the title picture. Given her resume in NXT and outside WWE, it makes sense. However, WWE will need to be careful with this matchup. Logic says Cargill isn't taking a loss this early into her reign, but at the same time, putting a fresh arrival like Grace in a losing spot could easily undercut the momentum she brought with her. It's a delicate situation, and the booking will need to be smart. How do you think WWE should handle Grace versus Cargill if they go forward with it? After last week's ambulance match, Damian Priest didn't mince words. He wants the WWE Championship. SmackDown also saw Sami Zayn make his intentions clear for a shot at the title, and as we reported earlier, Matt Cardona has thrown his name into the mix as well. With multiple contenders stepping up, Nick Aldis has now announced a clear path to determining the next challenger. 4 qualifying matches will take place on next week's SmackDown in London, with the winners moving on to a fatal 4-way match at Saturday night's main event on January 24th. Whoever survives that match will earn the right to challenge for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble in Riyadh on January 31st. The qualifying bouts include Randy Orton vs. The Miz, Matt Cardona vs. Trick Williams, Damian Priest vs. Solo Sikoa, Sami Zayn vs. Ilya Dragunov. WWE is clearly preparing interesting contenders for Drew's title, and each option brings a very different story to the table. In your opinion, who should go after McIntyre and why? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Great to see Carmelo Hayes continuing the United States Championship Open challenges. These segments have quietly become some of the best in-ring matches on WWE TV over the past few months, and tonight was no exception. Shinsuke Nakamura answered the open challenge, giving fans a fresh matchup that delivered from start to finish. Both men worked a crisp, competitive bout, showcasing their contrasting styles. In the end, Carmelo Hayes pulled off another impressive victory to retain the US title. After the match, Hayes and Nakamura showed great sportsmanship, closing things out with a moment of mutual respect in the ring. It was fun to see Nakamura as a babyface again, but it still feels like WWE dropped the ball on his heel run after such a strong start with that gimmick. Axiom was shown attacking Nathan Frazer backstage, or at least that's what everyone thought at first, but the real twist came seconds later when the mask came off and the attacker was revealed to be Johnny Gargano wearing Axiom's stolen mask. It was a clever little swerve that instantly shut down all those long-running conspiracy jokes about Gargano secretly being Axiom all along. The real Axiom rushed in right after the ambush, making sure fans knew exactly who was who as he chased Gargano off. With the reveal now out in the open, it'll be interesting to see how WWE builds this feud moving forward and whether this masked mind game becomes a longer-term theme in their rivalry. And that was SmackDown this week, guys. How do you feel about Drew's win? Which segment stood out to you and why? Sound off in the comments below. We want to hear from you. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.